what's up? So I'm back with Cancer rising. Yep, so this is for all you individuals who have Cancer for a rising sign, for your ascendant sign that's leading your chart. Cancer risings are quite interesting, to say the least. And it's not just because I'm looking at Cancer risings as interesting. It's just a lot of people find Cancer risings interesting because initially when you first approach or meet or come across Cancer rising signs, you get something maybe that you feel like is different from getting to know them. And it's not about them being fake, and it's not about them being inauthentic. It's just for their security. Because remember, Cancer sign is going to seek security above all else. So if they do not know you, they're going to sometimes come off, or they could come off depending on other placements. So the sun sign especially can change this up a little here and there, but they could come off as you know, like standoffish or kind of blocked in a way. And it's not really that they're blocked, okay, maybe like a Capricorn rising. It's just more about the fact that they're just like, okay, well, I don't know this person or these individuals, so I don't know if I feel secure enough to just display all parts of myself and my interests. And well, let's just say this, if you're not displaying all parts of yourself up front, then of course your interest, it's not that you changed or varied your interest, it's just a simple fact that a person didn't even know what your interests were really, or not all of them. You know, we're multifaceted individuals, and so this is what we're seeing take place with Cancer rising, like security, but their security is you know, more of an outward thing, what steps they should take, how they should take them, when, with who, is definitely something that they have to feel a need of security or some sort of reassurance for, okay? Because you may meet one and then you might be like, okay, well, this Cancer rising is extremely nice and think they're gullible, but boom, they might have a Gemini sun or Aquarius sun or Scorpio sun or something like that, to where you're like, okay, I thought you were like sweet and nice. Although Cancer risings definitely can be ultra sensitive, like they're sensitive to their environment. So when they're not making certain moves, or they're being cautious, or they're, you know, holding back a little bit, and people don't understand that, why they're doing that, it's cool, because you may not, because they're doing it because it's something intuitively that they can sense, or they're needing to sense before they can say, okay, I feel comfortable in this environment. And a lot of times they still may not feel comfortable in certain environments, but they're operating because they have to, because of work and different things. So they could appear very introverted, okay, because they have to be careful to protect their energy due to certain surroundings, and just period. This just is because they're sensitive and intuitive to their environment. Cancer risings are also mentally reserved. I don't like to say that they are unintelligent, because that would be a lie. The mental reservation of Cancer risings is just basically from what I've already explained about them. They get exhausted really quickly because they're not only operating mentally, they're doing a lot intuitively. They can easily take on energy and thought processes of others, even if they're not taking it on because they don't have their own identity. They're taking it on because they genuinely seek to understand situations and in their immediate environment. And that comes with a certain amount of mental action, mental connection, all of that being involved. So, you know, they have to be mentally reserved. This is why you could see, it could seem like with Cancer risings, like, okay, well, I don't have the same interests as them, or they don't really think logically or operate logically. It's not that they can't. It's just a lot of stuff that they feel like, okay, if I don't need to know, it's like, I need to know what it is that I need to know. You know, having other information is great, especially depending on other placements that they have. But it's almost like, okay, but I don't need, what do I need? What's the most important for what it is that I'm doing, or what I'm trying to operate here? What does that look like? And this is the same reason, because of this approach to their environment, this is the same reason why people may not understand them at a depth and may feel like, oh, well, the person was presenting one thing versus what they really are, or what they really are interested in, what they really know, what they're really capable of, because they could be capable of so much. But their first approach is, because, well, this is what I feel like they have to be careful of. This is a great thing, aspect that they have, and then at the same time I feel like they need to be a little bit careful, because a lot of times they're just seeking to move forward. They're just seeking to move forward, and they really don't want to pay attention to a lot of the distractions or red flags that could look like distractions for them. Okay, it's like, oh man, I missed that red flag. I missed that because I didn't really want to notice it or pay attention in the first place, because it looked like an obstacle, or looked like something that was trying to limit me, not warn me. Okay, so that right there, like making that mental, using that mental agility in like in relation to the intuitive side. So that's something that they have to learn to cooperate together. And a lot of them do this very well, you know. Cancer risers definitely have sexy demeanor. Okay, it's just something about Cancer risings that is could be very like demure or very reserved. Even if, so let's say you have a Cancer rising that's dressing provocative, which is a lot of them, there's quite a bit that I came across that doesn't necessarily dress provocative, right? But they somehow reflect their style, like their feelings even. Like these Cancer risings could have their outside representation and their approach to things based on how they're feeling that day. So if they get up and they're feeling kind of moody and they're feeling like, I don't really want to interact with you, and I'm not feeling that way, they'll have a style that represents that. But it'll be in a way to where it's cute. A lot of them still have this cute style, or it's their attitude. It ain't just what they're wearing. It ain't just their style. It's their attitude. It's like the whole package, because it's something about them to where it's like, oh, who is this person? You know, I would like to get to know a little bit more about them and their projection, like the way that they project things or whatever. They're not necessarily seeking to be rude or anything like that. And this is what makes people want to interact with them. Even if they're withdrawn or they're to themselves, it's not in a rude way, you know? It's just in a way like, you know, like, like, oh gosh, please don't let him come over here. Don't let him come over here. He's here. Hi. So it's, you know, that coupled with just the rest of their personality, it can come off, you know, very interesting to other people, and it's just like a sexy demeanor. It's just like a sexiness, because I don't want to specifically call them bougie. They wouldn't necessarily be the bougie rising sign. I could possibly put that up to Scorpio, and even Scorpio risings is not necessarily always purposely bougie. Scorpio risings when they don't want to be bothered, it's like, don't bother me, you know. I could even say Leo rising, but Leo rising is not necessarily bougie. They're really secretly looking for attention or purposely looking for attention. I could even say Capricorn rising, but Cancer rising, it can appear that they're bougie, you know, it can, but it's really less like a certain type of sexiness or like sex appeal, you know, because it's like this emotions, or it's like people can project onto Cancer risings what they feel, or like so they could be attracted to Cancer rising and they believe that Cancer rising should be attracted to them back. It's just weird, you know? So yeah. Cancer risings can appear as like the leader or a leader in their field or area that they work in, that they work towards. They definitely can, and it's a part of their disposition, but it's because, like I said, a lot of them are actually they have more affluence to them than what first meets the eye. And they can act, although they could be emotional, there's something about them too that can take on a lot. And this is what a leader needs to do. it's something about them to where they're able to be a leader, like they're able to have their own fashion statement or the way they present that. But at the same time, it's not necessarily completely different from the people around them. It's not like an Aquarius rising to where it's like, oh no, I definitely want to be different and I don't want to look like none of y'all. Because I don't want to look like none of y'all, I'm going to go over here and do the most outrageous thing purposely. No, Cancer rising is just like, okay, well, let me take what's in the arsenal of fashion. And, you know, yeah, I could create something here and there, but at the same time, I'm just going to say, hey, I'm going to pick this out because I feel like wearing this today, or I feel like this over here tomorrow, whatever the case may be. But it's something that other people can actually relate to. And this is how they approach life. Like, other people draw to them a lot of times because they feel like Cancer rising understands their disposition and knows how to communicate and relate that to them without being too preachy, without being judgmental. Even if they are judgmental, it's a way that they can bring it across. That's not. It's like Cancer rising seeks to understand their environment and have other people understand them by way of connection. Like, what can I use to connect with these people with? And a lot of times in fashion and stuff like that, it's like what we wear, you know what I'm saying? But the leader in Cancer is like, okay, well, I'm just going to make this choice. I'm gonna utilize what I have, but it's going to be unique to me because of my way of expressing it, but I'm still connected to other people, because you have other people like, okay, well, where did you get those earrings from? Or where did you get that? Or how did you wear that? You know, like wanting to know, right? So yeah, but like I said, they appear as a leader because a lot of times they could withhold their emotions in situations where, just to be strong for like family and other people, so they could appear to be the leader to these people, to their family dynamic, and ultimately getting put in positions or placed in positions to where they themselves look like they have to be responsible for that family dynamic or change it in some type of way, where sometimes Cancer risings can't even like deal with their own emotions or, you know, sit with their own healing process without having to feel like they have to take care of somebody else's. So this brings me back around to trendsetter. They're trendsetters, and they're trendsetters. I don't think it's that they're purposely being trendsetters. Not for all of them. For some of them, yeah. But they have a very good balance. Because let's say they have Aquarius sun. Can y'all see literally how they could be purposeful trendsetters? Because it's like they're seeking to be different, and then they're a mood, and then they're they're relating to other people at the same time, to where it's like people are not looking like, oh, you look weird. They're looking like, wow, you know, that's neat, unique, that's interesting. So where could I buy that out? And could you make that like a t-shirt and sell it? So yeah, so they could actually do stuff like selling jewelry, selling clothing items, okay, very well. So also I mentioned that they like to just go for it. They like to go for whatever they put their mind to, whatever like they're working on, and this can also make them someone that overcomes challenges to their goals, okay, because they're going to be less likely to fold whenever they see challenges, because a lot of times even if they deal with it on an emotional level, a lot of times they tune it out and they're just like, okay, I got to keep moving forward. What can keep them stuck though is when they are not able to work through emotional cloudiness, you know, feeling like every time they try to get up and rise again, they keep getting pushed down or they keep getting pulled down. Because you got to remember like the crab in the barrel mentality here. And then, like I said, dealing with people, dealing with a family, dealing with security, and needing to take care of your own needs as a Cancer rising, but finding that hard to do when dealing with others. Okay, but they can usually excel in accomplishing their goals because of the same reason. So this is their claim to revenge. You hurt them. I'm not saying that they won't cry publicly to you or they won't show it emotionally to you, you know, but a lot of times they cry in private, they hurt in private, depending on other placements, but they get you back by being successful. They don't even gotta say nothing to you. They could just be like, okay, so yeah. This is the reason why Cancer risings also, people like relate to them, or they want to connect with them and things of that nature. They see, I feel like Cancer risings are underestimated. So people, you know how people could be? Because people could be like, oh yeah, I'm cool with you, let's chill, let's be friends, we on the same page, until they see you doing better than them, right? Or if they think that you could do better than them, or your competition, they don't want to really have nothing to do with you. Cancer risings is really underestimated, where people feel like, oh, they're these meek, soft people, but really they're these beasts when it comes to accomplishing things. They're really getting it done, like when they really step up. And this is why they can either come in contact with competition or secret competition, or they become competitive themselves, because they are underestimated a lot of times by people. So they have to prove their point. And they usually do, and they can, and they're capable of it. Sometimes it's later on in life, you know, or when they finally get tired of dealing with the, you know, people feeling like they could crap on them. They really experience high episodes of deja vu. They could be constantly thinking of memories of when they were happy, or romantic memories, or when they were a child, or certain experiences that they had. So it could be very hard for them to overcome things that they feel like hurt them, or trauma in their lives. It very well can, because emotionally they have to deal with it. And depending on the sun sign and, you know, the way that they process things, it could be to where they avoid these healing processes or whatever. So, or it's hard for them to, you know, facing feelings of abandonment or rejection, it's hard for them to overcome that, because they feel like, okay, well, if you really loved me or you really cared about me, you would have saw that I didn't experience these experiences. So overall, Cancer risings could definitely be cautious because the way they approach things, because of their experiences, but they could definitely overcome those and be very successful. Then again, that could be their cause of revenge. All right. This has been Cancer rising. I'm Butterfly Light. I shall return.